Okay, you're probably sat there wondering what could you learn from some guy who looks like he's made of chocolate chip ice cream. And honestly, I'd be willing to agree with you on that. But considering apparently Twitch says I'm in the top 2%, I've probably got a few things I can say, especially on VTubing, as I have been doing it for well over a year at this point. It was, let's see, it's about 15 months now that I made the move over from no cam at all to I'm now a VTuber. So I was just sat here thinking about it, and with over a year into my VTuber journey being sort of done, and with it still many more years of it to come, hopefully, I thought I'd discuss a few myths, misbeliefs, misconceptions, whatever you want to call them, that come with being a VTuber, especially when you're thinking of starting, to hopefully it'll help anybody who's on the fence about it, because it's a tough decision. And there are, as I said, misconceptions about it. So bear in mind, this is based on my experience. It's not gospel. It's going to be different experiences for different people. But this is personally what I think are the top 5 most important things you need to know. Starting with number 1, cost. This is the most common thing I hear by far about why people do not start VTubing. I can't afford an iPhone camera to track my model. I can't afford overlays and alerts when I get follows and subs and that and that and this and that. It's all a myth. 100% a complete myth. You can be a VTuber, guys, for next to nothing. I'm talking a microphone and a £20 camera off of Amazon. That's it. And even the latter isn't really necessary. If you go down the PNG tuber route, you don't need a camera. And even if you're not going down the PNG route, there's programs you can use where your model will follow your mouse. Your eyeline will follow your mouse. So, you don't even need the camera. You just need a microphone. And if you do want to go down the actual model route, rather than having a PNG, you actually have a 3D model, you can go for Vroid. Vroid is a free program that allows you to make 3D free models. It gives loads of easy to use basic settings, and then there are sites like Booth where you can get free models, free overlays, free outfits, free alerts, free everything. Thousands of different things. You can find what you're looking for there. So you do not need to go out and spend a bunch of money on VTubing. Not at all. You don't need a $1,000 model. You don't need a $500 microphone. You don't need a $500 camera. You just need a decent mic, and that's it. And a regular camera if you want to have the full tracking. That's it. And this is something that needs to be talked about a lot more, because everybody goes in there and they look at Hololive and all these other ones where they've got amazing models with all these details and all these things they can do and outfits and such, and get this misconception that you've got to spend £1,000+ on rigging and models and art and all these different things. You don't. You really don't. All that's going to do is make you regret it in 3 months' time when you haven't grown as much as you hoped and you've lost all interest in VTubing. Start small, start cheap. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. Number 2, you can be any kind of VTuber you want. And this is a point I think a lot of people know up to a certain point. People will stand around cheering you with placards saying, oh, if you want to be a red giraffe boy, you go for it. That is pretty much commonplace. Everybody knows about it. This seems to stop when the person, say a guy in this example, says, actually, I want to be a red giraffe girl. And then the same vice versa if a woman says she wants to be a red giraffe boy. It seems to stop that whole idea of you can be anything you want, which is, I don't agree with. The thing is, VTubers are models, they're avatars at the end of the day. And I'm glad to see that there are a slowly increasing amount of men using female models and female using male models, because it needs to become more widespread. At the end of the day, when you're a VTuber, it's an avatar, it's a model, you're playing a character. Much like when you played FemShep in Mass Effect so that Garrus could pop your heatsink. Shout out to my Mass Effect fanatics. Remember, your model is a reflection of your character, and to me that means there's no boundaries. It's whatever you want. So just be whatever you want. Don't let other people tell you, oh, that's wrong, your model you shouldn't be that, you shouldn't be this. Be whatever you want. There's some fantastic streamers that use models that are their opposite gender because they embrace that it's a character. How this model I use is pretty androgynous, and I use plenty of female characters because I like them. They're cute. I think they look good. Simple as that. So don't let other people control what your model is and what you want your character and avatar to be. The need for lore is point 3, and I don't hear it as much now, but it still comes up. People going, I can't think of any lore for my character. What am I going to do? Guess what, guys? There's at least probably 95% of your viewers who couldn't give fewer shits about your lore. Sure, it's nice to have, gives your character a backstory, a little bit of an explanation why you have certain quirks. Maybe you were possessed by the spirit of a kitsune. Maybe you got isekai. Maybe your mother shagged a wolf. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's not important. People stick around for you, your personality, and the environment you create and provide for them. Don't get caught trying to create a convoluted lore for the 3 people who may care about it. It's really not going to do anything. It may give people a few ideas to draw things, but that's about it. Focus on your character as a person, not on the lore behind why you've got 2 buns for hair, example, or why you have scissors as a zipper. Like, just don't focus on that stuff. Focus on the stuff that matters. Your community, your own personality, and leave the other stuff for later. Number 4, social media campaigns and debut streams. Neither of these are vital. I see a lot of people do them now on Twitter, if I get 20 retweets and 10 likes, I'll reveal this next part of my model for my debut stream coming on the 24th of sometime zone. And it's just like, yeah, you can do that. Honestly, I'm not saying it's bad. You can do that. You can get yourself a nice little following beforehand. But it's not vital, and to a degree, I think it could do more harm than good, personally. I think it kind of depends on your mentality as a person. I've seen people set up debuts and have 500 followers for day 1 with well over 50 people in the chat, and then over the course of the next week or 2, that number slowly dwindles down until there's only a handful left, which, don't get me wrong, that's still amazing at that sort of follower count, and especially at the start of your streaming journey. But I personally, and I think a lot of people would be the same, would find it very, very demoralizing to see the numbers dwindle like that, because you had 50 day 1 and then you've got 5 sort of 2 weeks later. I would find that very demoralizing, personally, I think, and I think a lot of people would feel the same, which is why I wouldn't advise social media campaigns and debut streams. Maybe make a big deal out of your debut, but don't go out of your way posting every day on various different social media platforms 20 times about your model or about what's going to happen, because you could just be setting yourself up for disappointment. Like I say, there's no right or wrong, and if you think that your social media campaign and debut stream will keep people around, then go for it. Like I say, there's no right or wrong way when it comes to VTubing. You got to do what feels right. If that feels right to you, go for it. But I personally wouldn't advise it. I think it's a good way to potentially kill any drive you could have if you lose a lot of people very quickly. And finally, part 5, or number 5, whatever we want to call it. It's the 5th one. Personality is paramount. This is by far the most important message you need to hear, because you can have the model with the biggest jiggly titties in the world, the coolest outfit, the nicest hair, whatever you want in the world. But if you have the personality of a crusty old soap sponge, nobody's going to stick around. Apart from maybe a quick fap to get off to you, and then they'll never return. And that's no offense to anybody here, but it's the truth. Your personality is paramount. Your model is just there. It's a face of your channel. It's secondary. Your model is merely the window to entice people into the store that is your stream. If your store is full of shit and expired goods, nobody in their right mind is going to want to go there, except out of morbid curiosity. What they'll do is go to the store next door, which is full of fine dining goods and a friendly atmosphere with an inviting staff. That's what people want. Don't assume that having a god tier model that can do 50 million different expressions and have a bunch of different outfits and do this, that, and the other will propel you to a success, because it won't. You've got to put the effort in, you've got to show people why they should stick around and why they should become parts of your community. A good model, sure, will help, but it will quickly get dragged down if you don't have the personality to go along with it. So focus on yourself. Don't care about your model that much. Your model is there as a face of your channel, and it's just something to get people's interest. Have something different about it. Have something that they can ask about when they come in. But don't get too hung up on that. And again, this links back to the whole cost thing. Don't spend $1,000 on a model for when you start, because yeah, there's a lot of VTubers who don't see out 3 months, so you don't want to spend $1,000 on a model and then lose all that money. So yeah, that's my final tip for that. So in conclusion, there is the 5 myths, misconceptions, misbeliefs, whatever you want to call them, surrounding being a VTuber in 2024. As I said before, I am by no means an authority on this. I'm just a guy who streams for fun pretty much every day. And yeah, I'm not authority. I've been doing this for 15 months. I've loved it. I intend to do it for many, 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 many more months to come. And I just wanted to help because I know there's a few people I know that are thinking of getting into it, and there's a lot of doubt over various things. And I hope this has cleared some of that up. If it has helped you in some way, I really would appreciate hitting that like button. Maybe share it with a friend who's thinking of becoming a VTuber or wants to know a bit more. If you want any more videos like this, let me know, because I can make a few. I'm okay at making videos. I've done quite a few in the past, and it's something I like talking about. And I think it's something that needs to be talked about more, because I don't think enough awareness is brought into the becoming a VTuber, due to just how insane the meteoric rise some of them have. I think it off-puts a lot of people, and it also gives people a lot of unrealistic expectations of becoming a VTuber. But yeah, if you've stuck around to this point, thank you very much. I do appreciate you being here at the very end, despite the video essentially being over. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe I'll see you hitting that like button in the future and in a stream sometime. And yeah, please take some of these points to heart. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do things, but there's a lot of things you can do to make the journey easier for yourself. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon.